But yes.
Welcome to welcome to MFW show number 37. It's been a long road to this number 37. We have some exciting have an exciting show for you today.
That
Uh,
is very true. Very, very true. Welcome all. We're going to try to show you a video. I think we got it down pat this time that KT did yesterday. It's the official launch of the PTR DMR, which a lot of you are very excited about it. Already getting quite a few messages from a lot of you guys and also some new customers and new people joining us today. We have some stuff from Tier 1 Armament we're going to be announcing to you guys. We've got some stuff from Team Defiance that we want to promote for you guys, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. So let's go watch the video real quick, and hopefully I don't mess this up, but
well,
we'll do this for you here.
welcome John, welcome Dusty, welcome Callista, Richard, Craig, Javier, and
John
Ultimate.
O'Grim, we're waiting for one part of the Unicus gun for the OPS suppressor, so I'll get that shipped out as soon as we get that part. Okay.
We do have the part, but it's the thread. It's not a perfect fit, so we don't want to send you the non-perfect part. So I think sometime mid on end of next week we can be able to fit perfectly on the adapter there. So we want to get to the good stuff.
All right.
All right,
Let's
let's
go
play the
check this
video.
out real quick.
Hi, it's KT with MCS. Today I got a video for you on testing the Hammerhead barrels. We can go different length on shooting with the 468 PTR DMR to show the difference in the velocity and comparing the difference in the length of the barrel that's on the how it affects your velocity as well. Let's check it out. So right now I have a 16 inches one-shot barrel. I'm gonna chronograph with the first strike. We'll take 3 shots. First round, 302. Second round, 97, 297. A little jam there. 298. Okay, so 302 high, 397 low, plus minus about 2. All right, next barrel. It's the 18 inches. These are prototype barrel. We're making them. We're just going through testing phase right now to see how they perform. Let's see if velocity goes up or down. All right, here goes. Jam there. All right. 305. 304. 299. All right, let's go with the 20 inches barrel. So you have a plus or minus about 2.5, 3 there. Let's see what the 20 inches barrel will do. All right, here goes. $298. 301. 298. Let's do another shot. 300. So velocity pretty much stabilized at the 20 inches barrel, and seemed like the consistency a lot better too. You have plus minus 1, 1.5, 2 there. That's the prototype we're making for the 20 inches barrel. Hopefully when we actually go to production, it will make the DMR shoot a lot better. Thank you very much for watching.
All right. We're going to post a video in the comments here. That way you guys can watch it. Most of you in here have already seen the video. It was basically what we wanted to show was to see where the fluctuation, if at all any, would come from when we're using the one-shot barrel. So KT was using the PTR DMR, which has the new valve in it, which is what a lot of people have been asking. What is the difference? Outside of the trigger pull and all that stuff, the adjustability, you have the new valve. So we went back to the drawing board. Me and KT taught, really, literally shot probably close to 2,000 rounds over a 3 week time frame when we could, to find out how we can get these the spider stack system essentially more consistent, and that's what we found. We put what basically Omar told us to work, and KT and them, he put it together, and now we got it. So um, that is what the video shows. You also see the prototype shots from the 18 and 20-inch one-shot barrels. So it was really cool, really cool. So when you get a chance, take a look at that video. Those of you that are interested in the bolt action, consistency is like amazing. Like
Amazing, yeah.
just like seriously, wow. A lot of people have had a DMR for a long time,
Right.
are experiencing the same type of consistency. The system's a lot more broken in. That DMR was what, right out of the box, right?
Pretty
Or
much,
basically
yeah,
built
pretty
up.
much, pretty much. This is the DMR we're shooting. Not even engraved yet, so still brand new, right off of the production line. All the DMR PTR will have that new valve built already. So if you guys want to order one now, it has that new valve in it. One thing though, I want to caution, if you guys gonna use the DMR PTR, don't dry fire the striker, because once you without air in the system, and when you fire the striker off, the striker will hit the opposite pin, and that motion will knock the pin out of position and might cause the pin not able to reset. So what happens when that does happen? What you have to do is you have to open the puppet up and then reset it and then put it back. So caution. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not saying every single time. So if you don't want to, if you're gonna set your bolt forward and your striker, you want to set it forward, you want to hold this back while you pull the trigger and slowly help it move forward and let the striker sit in the front position. So what you want to do is you go like this here and you pull it and then help it move forward. So that way it doesn't launch itself and cause it to be out of alignment. Other than that, that's only caution that I will give you um, on the PTR. The system is a lot more smoother. The trigger, especially the trigger, oh man, and you're able to kind of. I've been practicing doing some drill lately, with just without any rounds. So you get here to click. So you do your drill. You go. You're able to do that with the PTR trigger system. A reset motion there that you can get for it. For the barrel wise, we were shooting 16 inches barrel. We'll get about 290, 298, 99 velocity. When I switch to the 18 inches barrel, I get velocity actually goes up. It went up to about 305 or 304, somewhere around there. So actual velocity, actually, there's still more velocity able to push the projectile faster when you have a longer barrel. So we figured that the system has enough volume of air and has enough, I would say, juice to push projectile faster on an 18 inches barrel. When it gets to the 20, it's actually slowed down. It's still faster than the 16, but slower than 18. So between 18 inches and 20 inches, we found the best velocity barrel. So in the future, I think we're gonna stick with, for as far as barrel wise, between 18 and 20. We might do a 19 inches, because that in between that might give us the best efficiency for the system that we have. But you know what? If not, we just do the 18 and 20. So right now, as without testing, the 20 seemed to be the optimal. The velocity still accelerate from the 16. You still get like about 5 feet per second faster, but at the same time, it's stabilized, and the consistency is a lot. It's great. So we're gonna push forward and get these into production for you guys.
So one of the videos too that I think we and KT talked about doing is we were going to do an accuracy video where we tune it up and we show the differences with distance with those. So hopefully when we get the final production samples, we'll go ahead and we'll do that for you with the DMR, the PTR DMR. Glenn Taylor, you asked, is it compatible with the 468 or the 468 DMR? Unfortunately,
What is
the valve.
the valve? There is
Require
a
modification,
the
right?
valve. There's another version for it. If you guys have taken the 460 apart, your trigger screw that kind of hold the valve into place is going to the valve. On the PTR, there's no hole for it. It's just a straight circular valve, so it's a little bit different. But we will have one for the 468. We'll have a newer version valve for 468. I would say about a week or two after the PTR version is out. It's basically the same part, but the 468 version has another hole at the bottom for that screw to go into. But I don't have it yet, and it should be available as well for the old 468 system. And you will achieve similar, if not the same, shot efficiency. The 468 and PTR, I mean, they use the same system, same poppet, same valve, same striker, same spring. So the only difference is that the way it sits in the body. That's the only difference. So there shouldn't be any difference as far as performance goes.
So hopefully we'll update you guys more on that when we get those out. I know Blade, you talked about the shotguns. Right now they are under customs investigation. They're basically just making sure they're not real. So as soon as they release them to us, we will do an update. The PPQs 43 cal pistols should be here, not here at our facility, but in the States tomorrow. That was the last update I got from our supplier. So once they come here, they're gonna pack up our order and then ship that out right away. So hopefully we'll have them next week, just in time for the show.
Okay.
So that'll be we'll do that update here. We do have a new product for you guys today that we're gonna talk about. Like we said, we talked about one every weekend or every week for the show. Comments are not updating right away. Oh, it's like, see, look how they all come up at one time.
Right.
Ooh. All right, guys. Sorry, it's not updating right away. Holy smokes! Look at all these that didn't come up. Holy smokes!
What are the comments?
Timothy Gaylord. It's a new valve. It's actually redesigned. Like I said, me and KT were doing some testing. Omar was here the weeks before and kind of put his 2 cents in, and then we kind of just ran with it. So we shot a lot of rounds to really get it to where it needed to be. But it's right there. It's amazingly consistent. Really great for the tuning with all the springs. So we talked about that in the videos. KT's shooting video of the PTR, he talked about tuning with different spring sets and things like that. So it's going to allow you as a player to really finely tune your PTR or DMR, and then hopefully soon the 468. One thing you guys want to check, excuse me, just is because I've had a couple customers call me in the past couple weeks regarding like consistency issues with the kits more than the PTR and the 468, but check your output pressure of your tanks, especially if you have an older tank. Even if it's brand new, check the output pressure. Once you have that dialed in, you know that every time you fill up your tank and you put it into the marker, you're going to have that consistency. That's something that we had to check here, and that does make a difference.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it really makes a difference. So if you have 700 output pressure, you're going to have consistency issues there, especially when you get lower into the lower psi of the 3000 psi tank. So make sure you check that. You need to be optimally 830?
About 8, I think 800 psi is what our system work with. Above that, between 800 and 850 is actually ideal. Below 800 it's okay, but it's not the best.
Right.
That's where our system is kind of tuned for, is about 800 psi.
Let's see here. Yeah, Javier Gonzalez, we do have some new handguards here. KT will talk about that when we talk about the PTR DMR on the website, which is up. currently right now for sale. Let's see here, adding some porting to those Hammerhead barrels. Brian Foucher wants to know.
Adding the ports will only kind of quiet down. We did a lot of tests yesterday. I shot a lot of the first strike with Jin, and we tried different barrels, different length. I only did the video I did for you guys just to show the highlight on the longer length ones. We did 12 inches, we did 14, we did 16, and each one of those we actually have ported adapter and ported version to it, and all it does is quiet down. You're not gaining much at all. If you wanted the barrel to quiet, I mean the shot to quiet down a little bit, I would suggest adding like um, like Hush Shot from LAFCO, or adding one of our muzzle brakes, the silencer. You can find ways to reduce down the signature, the sound signature, but it doesn't improve performance at all. We're looking at both velocity. If you lose, are you losing velocity, or are you gaining velocity when you adding ports? And we found you losing a little bit of velocity, and velocity didn't change much at all. So there's really no point of adding a port to, unless you want to quiet down a little bit. And especially our focus is in the one shot series. We want optimal performance, optimal velocity, and range. We're not looking for to reduce them the sound signature at the moment. One step at a time. We want to accomplish this milestone first, able to make good barrel, consistent barrels that performs, and then after that we'll go back. And if you want to reduce the noise signature, you can always get the mock silencer we have, and you can be creative in different way to reduce down the sound signature. But as far as adding port to it, we don't really see a reason to do that, not yet, until we do some more testing and get more data behind it. Then we'll, because it's more work, right? More work, more drilling, more process, and increasing the cost. And if you're not going to get performance out of it, it's really make a very little sense to add that feature on.
And you'll see more when we do the distance test video with the same marker with the different barrels. Once we've dialed in the consistency between the marker and then ultimately the output pressure of the tank, all we're relying on now is the projectile itself with paired up with those barrels. So you're really going to see the performance increase or decrease, if there is any, between those three sizes specifically, the 16, 18, and 20, when we do that test. And that's really all you'll need to know, because at that point, the only thing you're left to rely on is a really decent optic, and that is really all it's going to set you aside on the
Yeah.
field when using first strikes.
Chris Quinn, the 468 or the PTR right now shooting about 150 shots, roughly give or take, using the semi version. I have not really tested um, um, the DMR, how much shots you can get from a 13 CI, but I can tell you that the air port on the valve, it's about 1/3 the size of the semi version. So you're getting you releasing less air at the same time. Um, you are getting equal amount of velocity from the new valve. So I would say that you get at least 30% more efficiency out of the new valve, and I would say that conducive to your shots. So I would expect 200 plus on DMR PTR version. We're gonna do a test one later on, or later next week or something like, we'll have time, but I would expect no less than 200, because I right now I've been getting report from players already that's shooting the DMR 46 DMR to get over 200 shots. I mean, they can pretty much play all day on the DMR with 113 side tank. So that is with the old valve system. I would expect the new valve system to be equal or greater as far as air efficiency when it comes to the DMR. Like I said, what we did is we find the right. In the past, our DMR, it has to reduce down velocity, we have to lower the spring strength down to get that. So when you strike forward, it's a slow strike. So we really realized, after kind of study a little bit more, realized that if we increase the spring strength, and that gives it more consistent in strike. So instead of go bam, bam, hit it consistently hard, but reduce down the airflow, allow less air to pass through the valve system. then the shot can be consistent. And we've been testing that for the past month, and that is the result that we're getting. Yesterday when I shot the DMR, I was using a standard spring that's just a silver spring that comes with the marker. Um, and your marker will come with two set of spring. You have the low end, that's black, silver, and gold. The gold is a higher end, and then the black is a lower end. If you put those springs in, you will get like around 200 to 220 range. And then we have the mid range spring, which are the green, the blue, and the red. Red is high, green is low. So you put those spring in, you get about 250 to 300. So we'll give you that range. That way, when you play with different condition, allows you to tune a different velocity. And also, like I mentioned before, projectile, barrel, and air, it's all conducive to what your velocity is going to get. You can tell yesterday that I put in a different barrel length, and my velocity also changed from like about 5 feet per second. So imagine you're doing like a 12 inches barrel. We did shot a 12 inches barrel yesterday, and velocity actually dropped down to about 280. And then we do a lot short barrels, actually slow down a little more. So you can see that just changing the barrel alone, that also changed the velocity. And then if you change the air system too, so I was using a Ninja 48 CI tank, 3000 psi. So you are assuming my tank pressure is 800 psi. Imagine my tank pressure is only 750 or 700. My velocity also changed. So something like that. That's why we give you guys enough spring, the different ones. I mean, different spring length, different spring length and strength, so that way you can tune it better. Like I said, we've been shooting long enough to know that if you let the spring coil and let it contract and expand at its normal, in its natural form, the performance is better as opposed to trying to compress it or trying to lengthen it.
All right, so we'll have you guys ask more questions in a little bit here. I want to get to the auction.
Oh yeah, auction.
First, I want to show you guys. Let's see here. Our buddies over at Tier One Armament are doing a.
You want to bring it to the smallcaster?
Yeah, let me load it up here for us. And then what they're doing is they actually made some patches. And they are really, really cool. I think they'd be really cool to have for those of you guys that collect them out there or all over. It's right here. This is their own Canadian Blue Line patch. Adam Collier over at Tier 1 Armament is actually a Toronto police officer. So this is one of those things that probably really hits home for him, and it's really helping out this foundation. So once they accumulate the costs for the patches themselves, every cent that they profit for this patch is going to the Ontario Police Memorial Foundation. Every cent, which is really, really cool. The patches are on sale for $10. To ship them here to the U.S., it is $3, and if you're in Canada, shipping is only $2. And like I said, all of the proceeds, every cent that they make after they accumulate the patches worth, goes to the Ontario Police Memorial Foundation, which is a really cool foundation. I was able to research it just a little bit. They help out families of fallen officers, just a bunch of different things that foundation is actually involved in, all in regards to law enforcement. So that's a really cool thing. So if you guys are interested and you're looking for a really cool patch, I don't know if Steve's going to have any at Kilo 6-9 this weekend for those of you guys watching on the East Coast to purchase there. I hope he does, but if he doesn't, too bad, so sad. You can buy it from their website. Go to tier1armament.com. They were on the They were on Maritime Milsim show last night, and they talked about they're going to be bringing out the PTR to their Canadian distributors up there. So for those of you in Canada that have been waiting for the PTR that didn't already buy it from us, you're now going to have some options to purchase it in Canada. They're going to put the product release. I don't know if it's on. Do you know if Steve put it on their website yet, or he said he was waiting?
I think he's still waiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be up on their website here shortly. Guys, if you are in Canada, these are our new distributors there. Steve and Adam over at Tier 1 Armament. They distribute to about 7 different dealers in Canada. So I don't know their exact locations. I don't deal with them personally, but I do talk to Steve almost daily. So if you need specific things, contact them first because they place orders pretty frequently. And if you need something specific, I'm sure they can get it for you. Then give you give you the price, and then they can ship it from Canada, so you save a little bit of money on the shipping. Um, Getting into the auction here, I want to take you guys over
show
to
the thing first.
the which one?
The Team Defiance. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to show you guys Team Defiance. John Lingua is actually in the show right now, I think. They have an amazing, another great charity event. I don't have to say much. These guys they're the best when it comes to charity games, giving back to the community and spreading paintball and MagFed all together. Everything they do is for somebody or something, which is really cool. I respect them very highly. They do a lot for their community. So this is the event that is this weekend. Unfortunately, it's like down the road, I think, or near Kilo 69, and they're not going to be there because they're going to be hosting this event. But you can take a look at all the sponsors they got. They deal with pretty much every major company that has to do with paintball. And it is the Red Devils Horns of Hope, which is a breast cancer family charity. So they help families that are associated with, victims of breast cancer, or they need help or anything like that. They help out the families of that. So all of their proceeds for some of their game, I believe, registration goes to that event. There's some writing here that you can see. They got catering. I mean, they go all out for their charity stuff. Huge raffles all the time. There's tons of prizes and things like that. And a lot of, like I said, their proceeds go to that. So today, our auction that you're going to see here in a second is going to go to those guys over at the Red Devils Horns of Hope. So we're very excited to do that for them today. Thank you, John and Team Defiance, for everything that you guys do. KT, you were on their show, their live stream on last Monday, right? This Monday?
No,
this Monday.
A day or two ago. Yeah. And one of the main reason why we're I wouldn't say sponsor, but we're working with them because of what they do. Most, like I said, what Jonathan said, most of their events is to go to support some cause, some good cause that we want to participate, we want to be part of. That's why we're doing this with them, and hopefully we'll make some impact on the cause that they're doing. All right, so let's
do the auction gun here.
Okay.
We have a Vortex Special Ops gun here with the quad rail Riz. You got the black rail covers on both sides. You have the Night Strike Sidewinder foregrip here. This is a line claw, or is this a? No, this is a 1-inch.
The 1-inch
Recon rifle.
Yeah.
This is a 8-inch, it seems, with the Noveski sound amplifier. You have a Samurai quick flip scope, and your SOCOM collapsible stock here, or folding stock with this. It's first strike ready. You got the new 2017 Helix. You get 2 mags, 1 Helix, and 1 14-round shape projectile. You can add the UMP grip to this bad boy. Do rear air if you want to. This thing's really, really nice and compact. It folds up really nicely, so you can adapt to that CQB. It's not super long, so it'll be for those medium-sized players. And then you have your red dot sight here with the riser already accounted for. So if you're shooting first strikes, you should be able to zero this bad boy in pretty easily. So we'll go ahead and start that off at 100. And remember, guys, all the proceeds for this auction go to the charity that Team Defiance is going for. So we will start that off. Felix Gonzalez, 200. Nice. Let's see
This is
here.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I believe this is one of few last marker that Jamie built, and some of these are pretty awesome the way he did it. Really, very detailed. How he add everything, the rail cover, you get the grip, you get the sight, you get the assam modifier, you get your sight, the red dot sight, you can do a compact CQB action here. Then you can easily just pull the stuff, buttstock, lever it out, and then you get your buttstock. Well done.
All right. So Operation Enwar 8, the one that is happening in not this weekend, but the next weekend. Callista is the general there. Joseph Rojas is involved. Register now. I think there's quite a few people already registered. People are registering now as well. I think daily. Um, Joseph, make sure you post. Oh yeah, you're already up there. Okay. So if you haven't registered yet, make sure you do so. Going to be an awesome, awesome event. Callista is the general for the blue side, right? Merc.
Burke.
Yeah, Merc
Yeah.
is red
Right.
or blue side.
Right.
So if you want to fight for her, fight for her. If you don't and you want to shoot her, then go and make sure you're on the red side. Um, yeah, Joe Tate is the other general for the red team,
The horde.
the Horde. Um, so make sure
Yeah,
you get there.
the patches on the way here. The patch will be amazing. So I made the patches. I mean, it's actually done, and we're probably gonna show you guys next week. It's gonna be really nice. We made of PCV this year. Not the last year we did embroidered. This year we kind of spent a little more and make it really nice. It's
Oh,
gonna be
sweet.
awesome patch out.
All right, so Calista just said that her registration is actually closed, so unfortunately you have to fight against her.
For the horde.
Too bad, so sad. Yeah, good luck. That's all she's gonna say. So make sure you get registered for there. If you haven't already, it's going to be an amazing, amazing event. I know Bradley and a couple guys from Canada are actually driving down. They're going to be there from the Maritime Milsim show.
Awesome.
I know you guys said earlier do a live stream from there. I definitely think we should, if we can, if the cell reception is good.
I think they're pretty good down there.
Is it good?
You're right. The last
Okay.
time I was there, I did a live stream, and not there, same area. I think the cell signal down there is pretty good.
Okay. All right, guys. So the auction's still going. Felix Gonzalez at 200 increments of 10. Remember, all of the proceeds are going to the Red Devils Horns of Hope Breast Cancer Families Charity. So just keep that in mind. It's a great marker. It'll be great for anyone. You can, do your own auction afterwards if you want to, but it'd be really great for you guys to support it. What else we got to show them?
We have that new buttstock adapter, the new guide that we just released. Actually, it's not on the site yet. I'm still gonna add the site later on tonight, and you guys can start throwing it in. I think I'll show. I'm gonna grab the gun for you. Really quick.
So for those of you, Cody Evans, you asked when is the PTR DMR going to be available? It already is. It's on the website. There's a couple different options that we've added there for upgrades that you guys are really going to enjoy when building in the DMR. A lot of people are bummed that we haven't brought back the gun builder, but it takes a lot of work, guys, and right now we are inundated with a lot of different things that we're working on. Hopefully in the future we have talked about bringing it back, but the PTR DMR is allowing those to definitely possibly customize your own DMR with the barrel, also the handguards and everything.
So you're talking about the PTR DMR?
Available on the site.
Yeah, so you can actually select the different handguard length. You can select the different barrel length on the site, suppressor or standard muzzle brakes, and you can select the different air system on it. The system we have only allows 3 options, so we kind of have to combine the option together. It's kind of confusing, but you guys pay attention to it a little bit. You can select what you want. So this is what we were talking about earlier, and we showed like a week or 2 ago the new buttstock guide for pretty much all markers. If you have an air tank, you can use this buttstock guide. and it mounts directly on the tank neck itself, or if you want to, you mount on the regulator bonnet there. It comes with two different set of screws. This is a short version. It's kind of flush against the mount here around the neck, and we have the longer version. It's about twice the length, and that kind of universal length that let you connect to different buttstock or different tank, or kind of universal setup. Except the beauty about this is that you can just take the air tank off just like this, clean it, and put it away. It comes together right there. You can fill it, and then you put it away, put it back. Of course, a lot of people are saying that would it come loose? Yes, it would come loose, but you can easily, so go in all the way, and then you secure your guide directly in the right position, and that's it. So once your air tank is filled, the pressure of the air pressure will keep the tank into position, and if it does move, you just kind of turn it back. That's simple to do. This is kind of similar to what you have in the past, where you have an air tank with a buttstock pad, so it's kind of similar to that. But it allows a little bit more freedom, a little bit more versatility, as opposed to in the past where you gotta have that guide, and every time you remove it out, you have to kind of slide it off, and it kind of gets in the way. Now it's built together. So you guys want one? It's gonna be available on the site later today after the show. We're about to put it up, but just didn't have time to put it up before the show.
The people want to know how much this is.
Which
This
one?
is a PTR. This is one that I built for KT when he went to where do you go?
I went to
The Cave Nation.
yeah. This was at the Cave Nation, right?
So that's a PTR. It's got the AFG on there, the 9-inch handguard with the Reaper line claw, 10-inch Holotech sight, Magpul grip.
Right.
John or Timothy Brooks, you're asking, can this be used on the universal drop down? It can be used on any ASA. It's
Right.
not specific. Like I said, you're going to attach it to the bonnet or to the tank itself, or you can do the bonnet with the longer screws. It'll work with anything. It just eliminates the guide rod and allows you to basically have this thing free floating per se, than having to have the guide rod there. And a lot of people, it's easier, like you said, to take it on and off, especially when you're tuning. When you're out the chrono, you can take that on and off without really having to do much of anything. So
I was trying to see if I can take that off, but the bonnet gets in the way. This is your standard PTR. This is kind of pretty much what we normally build around here. This is the setup that Jonathan normally go to demo for law enforcement. They love having kind of like this red dot sight here, and the rail system, the 9 inches now than the 7-incher. Kind of real nice setup.
a 9-inch to me is, I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I mean, a lot of people say it's too long, but the 9-inch is short enough for CQB, but long enough for assault type of player style. So, for my law enforcement guys, this is definitely small enough for them to clear rooms with. Obviously, they wouldn't have a suppressor on it, but we can use with the PTR that we have now. When I told KT we should do that, the reason where we got the idea from is because I built one up, and every single officer I put it in their hands, they were like, "I want,
That's what I want.
I want this." Yeah, most of the guys. I have a Gilroy PD SWAT member that comes in here every once in a while, and he actually decked out his AR the way that I built the PTR. So, because it was just comfortable. It's just comfortable for him, especially when you use the MTA. It's really compact, and there's a lot of different options out there, especially those of you who run a remote line. You can make it even smaller now. The UTG S4 buttstock that I put on, the micro buttstock that I put on the last Unicus gun that John Grimm got, that is short. Like, that's the shortest stock I think we've ever
Tiny,
ever done.
It's like about 6 inches long.
So it literally, and it's adjustable from that point, but it collapses all the way onto the buffer tube. So for those of you that have a real AR, you can use that same exact buttstock with that with your real AR buffer tube. So price on this, what do you think? You're looking
This
at
whole thing run probably about $1,200, because you are $50 for the tank, and then about $100 for the sight, and then about $50 for the sound. So about maybe 1150, 12 around there. So I would say about 1150 if you built on the site yourself. But If Jonathan wants to, he can later on maybe build a Unicus gun off of it, and you guys can go off.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do my
If you
Unicus
guys want
yet.
to build like this, message Jonathan. He'll build one for you.
Yeah, I
You
definitely
want
can do
exact
anything.
one? Yeah.
If any of you guys want a custom build,
Yeah.
contact me. I've said it before. I've done a couple of them for guys that came in the store. KT just did one the other day for a gentleman who came in here.
Right.
If you want a custom marker, and it's like if you see something on the site that you like but you want to add or take off, contact me directly. We can always do that for
Right.
you. You don't have to always be stuck with what
Right.
we've made, but if you just contact us if you need anything.
You like one of the Unicus gun that we built? Like we said before, we don't build anything exactly the same like that. So you want something similar to it, like change the stock, change the handguard or something like that. We'll build for you a similar one, but we can't really build the exact same one because we want each of those to be unique. One, but we can build a similar one for you if you like the build that we have. Like this one here, I really like this handguard that we just got in. We're still testing, making sure good and stable before we put up on the site. This is really light. I think it's like about half a pound, just the handguard. The whole thing is just amazingly super light. It's amazing.
And it's M-lock.
Right.
So that's where I've been pushing KT over the past like couple months since the Unicus. I've been building a lot of the M-lock stuff because I really like those handguards.
It's amazing how light this handguard is. Well, we'll be having more handguard in, a little more option in the next couple months. A little more customized than what we currently have right now. We're kind of like a cookie cutter kind of system. But in the next few months, we're going to have a little more robust option for you guys as far as gun build goes.
Javier says $500 on the PTR and I get the MCS logo tattooed on me. There is going to be a day where someone is going to get the MCS flag tattooed on their body. We know it's going to happen. And it's probably, they're going to show KT and he's probably not going to think it's real right off the bat, but it's going to be real.
I'll give you a deep discount. Sure. Be the first.
Glenn Taylor, what are the benefits of M-lock? M-lock, in my opinion, right now it's still pretty new to the market. More on the real steel side, obviously, where everything's introduced, but it's the way that the handguard attaches to the barrel nut, which is a benefit because no more really do you need to have shims. It depends on the handguard. I'm not going to say you don't have to, but it depends on the handguard. And what you can do is it actually attaches in any point of the barrel nut, and it allows you to not have to be finicky with shims and then clocking it to the right thing, AR wrench, all that stuff that sometimes can get a little frustrating at times, especially when you have to line up the holes perfectly along with the top rail. It gets a little confusing. So also the M-lock refers to the way that it attaches. So instead of like where you have key mod, you have rectangular squares now. And Magpul has, so you can see it here, there's M-lock here at the bottom, and there's M-lock here on the sides, and then there's machine cuts here on the in-between sections of the handguard. So the M-lock accessories, they have rail spacer caps, so similar to, I don't know if they actually have any key mod ones, I don't think they do, that look like this, where you can actually just put rail segments into the M-lock. Magpul has a couple accessories out, NC Star does, Strike Industries has a couple out as well. So a lot of AR companies are going with this type of handguard because it's easier to attach accessories. It makes it more flush to the handguard itself. Most M-lock handguards, especially like when I did the Salient Arms and Hera Arms CQR stock Unicus gun, a lot of those accessories can now be attached directly to the M-lock, and they almost look like they're a part of the handguard. Similar to what I did with the last Unicus gun for John Grimm's, is that I bought the accessories that were key mod attached only, not you had to get the rail for the key mod and then attach it to a Picatinny. I got the accessory that's only for key mod rails. So I guess it depends on as far as the benefits or the negativity. it just depends on you as a player. I like the M-Lock. I think that's the future of ARs. That's why you're seeing a lot of different companies really getting into the M-Lock stuff. It's just like when you did, the key mod. A lot of people moved away from the Delta packs because the Delta packs they're a little bit more difficult
Right.
to install. It's not as universal where you can swap handguards depending on the different loadout of the marker or gun that you're trying to deck out. And I think there's just going to be a lot more options with the M-Lock coming out that are going
And
to be
it's
universal.
light.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
super light.
it's super light. Like I said, this whole handguard less than a pound. I would say like maybe half of a pound on this whole section. It's amazing how small and thin that is. Um, I would definitely have more of these for you guys in the next couple months. And you can, I don't have all the tools here, but you can take this off so easily. Can you hand me that red wrench? See if it's the same size. Hey, just all luck, right? So see this handguard right here. Normally you guys have to have screws and blah 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 and to take it off. This little guy use this one wrench. You just loosen it up, and then you can just detach. Voila, simple, right? As opposed to you have to your barrel nut and to crank it out to realign it. Of course, some of these handguard out back there you can just you have to clock it in the right position. This little sucker you slide in, close it. So, see that I can close right now. Make sure it's aligned. Tighten your screw up right here. Done. Rock solid. Doesn't flop, straight, fully aligned, beautiful. That's all you have to do. So imagine, say, you are disassemble your marker and put it away, put into like a little bit square box. Oh, okay. All right, got my thing here. Crack it open. Slide it a little bit more. Loosen that a little bit here. No, yeah, see, come right out. Take that off. Crap this on. There you go. Now you can just pull your marker up into like a little square box, or maybe like a lunch pail, and then you have your barrel cross section, something like that. Just 3 pieces, fast. What's that? 30 seconds, minute, something like that. But see how fast you can do that. Right. So.
Javier Gonzalez, message me. I'll talk to KT about that deal. Still got the auction going on, guys. For those of you who just joined us, we got a Vortex that we're auctioning off. Proceeds are going to go to the Horns of Red Devils breast cancer families charity. It's a charity foundation that basically helps those families that have been affected for people that have had breast cancer. So Team Defiance is hosting a charity event in Maryland this weekend. We're going to help them out by doing an auction. We're at $200 right now with Felix Gonzalez. So
this is the marker. It's compact. I would say this is like a CQB section. Unit here. You can go really tight, go around corners, and use your angle shot. If you want to do a full version, kind of just flip that stuff up here. A little tight, still new. Fold it out. Now you get your full. Pretty sweet. And there's a lot of upgrade you can do in a Vortex. There you go.
I think the only thing that thing is missing is a UMP trigger frame.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. What else we got? So shotguns, guys. Like I said, we'll update you as soon as they come out of customs. They're here stateside, but they're in the customs right now, being looked at. PPQs, those should be here next week, hopefully.
Let's talk about a little bit Kilo 69.
Kilo 69, right. Yeah.
So Jonathan gonna be there. Actually, he's leaving tomorrow morning. He's leaving tomorrow morning, flying to Pennsylvania. He's gonna arrive about midnight, and then he'll gonna hang out at a place somewhere, and then head out to the EMR field. He'll probably be there about noon Friday. So you guys want to hang out for a little bit with him. He'll be there all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. He'll be heading back on Monday. So hopefully you guys can hang out with Jonathan there, give him some insight. So hang out with him, all right? If you need something emergency right now, maybe you can message him. We can bring something out light, small, say like a screws or a part or something. But anything, no, nothing that he has to check in. He's gonna be just doing carry on, so traveling light here. It has a few, has transfers, so you don't want to having to lug things around for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My experience is that all my traveling, too many, even one bag checked with multiple transfer flights is not, doesn't ever work out well in my favor. So, uh, anything else? Let's see. Update on the Hydra. Hydra, we're working on it right now. Jeremy Lubecker was just in here, kind of helping us with some stuff. Um,
We're almost there. We actually solved the feeding on the rounds already. So now we're gonna have to change how the round go into the Hydra. So we changed the angle how it goes in and out. Next stage we have to figure out how to kind of turn the rounds or turn the projectile around. So I would say that the next month or so we should be able to do a shooting test for you guys on how the Hydra actually fires. Actually, we can do right now, but it's not robust enough. We want to give you a robust video and kind of show you how the system works. I know there's another company they making one that's showing kind of shooting, but we're not just going to show you how it's shot. We're going to show you how it works. Little detail on the inside, so you can see the stage that we're in, where it is at, and what we've done to overcome that jamming problem that we have. So a little more insight for you rather than just kind of show you how it fires. I'm going to show you how it works.
all right. So we'll do, let's see, 550 is 5:43 right now.
Right.
7 minutes left on the auction marker.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's pretty much it. Anyone have any questions regarding the PTR DMR or anything they want to ask while we're here?
Someone is asking about, is it clamp? It's not really a clamp on. It's secure on as a clamp, but not a clamp on. Okay, let me take this off again here. Oh, this thing is super light. I think it's like half a pound.
Yeah, it's got to be for sure.
My phone is heavier.
So you got 4 QD mounts on this thing, 2 in the front and then 2 in the back.
What's the price out on the Hydra? We're looking at about $60 on the 50 rounders and about 120 bucks on the 100 rounders. So around, somewhere around there. With 100%, don't lock us in the price, but we're looking at vicinity. We want to make where a magazine. Our aim is to make a magazine where it's inexpensive. I mean, not value on the magazine, so that way you can carry multiple magazines. We don't want to charge you like $200-300 on a magazine and you cannot carry, you can only do one. Really, what's the point, right? You're able to have more than one magazine. The ability to carry more than one magazine, you can change the magazine and have a good time. That's the idea, right? You can't. That's one of our goals when we first started into the MagFed and trying to grow MagFed, is to make magazine that's inexpensive so that players can actually purchase a few and have a good time. When we first did the T68 back then, the magazine were like $37-40, and most players they have 2. And that's what they have to live with because they can't afford to buy more. The gun itself already run $400-500. They can't see themselves buying 5 magazines. That's run another $200. So we went back and our focus is on the magazine, making magazine that's inexpensive. So that's what we did. Like the $6-7, $10 magazine, and now you can buy a pack of magazine for like $150. For the D mag, you can buy $70 for 10 magazines. So that way, you can go out there, have a good time with enough magazine. So our goal, that ideology kind of transfer into the Hydra. So you want to carry like 2 or 3 of those magazines, and you're good to go, as opposed to afford to buy one. Right? So we're not really trying to be a budget system, but trying to focus on design. Your design can be play a huge role in how much the system costs. We make it where it really takes very little time to assemble, really little time to service the unit. Like the the DMAG or the helix, no screws, right? So you can just take the whole thing apart, replace every single part. I mean, every single little part on the magazine can be replaced. It's not like assembly where before we have a ratchet system where it's really laborsome to assemble. And if there's a problem, you can't really fix it. Having a ratchet system where a little string going to the coil in the spring. It's, oh man, where most of the time we just toss the whole thing out and then just replace it. But on the helix and the Hydra, I mean helix and DMAG and the Hydra, it's not gonna be like that. Every single component is replaceable. So that way, say you have a failed unit, okay, you just replace that one spring, or say you have a jam, you replace that one part, and no tools, so that way you can actually take it apart and put it back together without using your tools. That allow us to build this thing less expensive. Right? Imagine you sit there and put a little screw together and build the ratchet. It takes more time and it will cost more. Especially when we built the units here in locally in Gilroy, we put a lot of thoughts into how the unit assemble, how it functions, how the parts can interact. So bring down the overall cost of the unit. So that's why our system, our focus a little bit changed from the post in the past. We want to make the system that simple, easy to service and repair, reliable, and of course, if we can accomplish those things, the cost we have to drop down the cost.
Well, I think that too, and no one, you guys all know the past of Rap 4, and sometimes a lot of things that a lot of people out there have problems with in regards to us. The Hydra and all these projects, the shape projectile, the pistol, these are projects that are tedious because we want to release them and not have to worry about them ever again. When we release products in the past, sometimes we had to do generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, generation 4 to fix certain things because it may or may not have been released a little too early. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these projects are extremely tedious because of that reason. We want to make sure that the product works flawlessly. It's easy for us and our staff to assemble and to maintain, and then ultimately to support. We want to have 100% expertise on the product before it gets to you. So when you have a problem, you can call me or KT or any of our staff and they'll be able to tell you exactly how to fix it, what part to replace, etc. When we have released a product and you guys are experiencing problems that we haven't experienced
Right.
ourselves yet, that doesn't look good on the company. On me personally, I wouldn't want that to happen. I'm sure as hell know that KT doesn't want that to happen. And then 3, it just doesn't look. That's not a product that you would recommend to somebody else to get. So that's the reason why a lot of these projects are in these stages, because we are working on them full time now, and they are tedious. There are a lot of things that we have to overcome, especially with the Hydra. Um,
A lot
so
of these things we are doing and never been done before. It's not we're not building
not to
technology
cut you
on.
off, but 1 minute left on the auction, guys.
Right.
Felix Gonzalez, $200 here. Go ahead.
So a lot of things we're doing have never been done before. So we don't have anything to go built from. It's new. It's totally um, based on how we solve the problem that's been thrown at us. I mean, we make a product, we go to put prototype, we test it, we go back and it have that process repeat over and over again until we get it right. We just kind of we don't have anything to go to try it on, to kind of build on top of. So that's why it takes a little bit longer, especially the rounds. Oh man, yes. First strike's out there, but first strike's a little bit different from what we do. They use a two-piece cast injection, and then they have a little hole. See the little hole in the top. You call it what is it called? The the mask? No, the flash on the top of the projectile. That is where they fill in the paint. So that's why that's there. So they when they inject the material, they inject the whole unit, and then they leave a little hole in the top. So once they fill up the inside, then they plug up the little hole. That's how the process is made. Ours is a little bit different on the shape round. We have the dry band, we have the tail, and then we have the dome. So we have to figure out how to put together, how to kind of assemble it, how to fill it, all these little parts that we have to figure it out. And of course, how you're gonna ask, why don't we use what First Strike does? Fill from the top. Well, that we can't. Actually, they have a patent just on that alone. So they actually have a patent just on refilling from the top. So we have to study what they're doing and find out how we can do it better, not the same, right? To improve upon what's going on. So it's in regard to the shape rounds, we already have something to work with, as opposed to like the Hydra, there's really nothing to go by, nothing to kind of study on. So it's a little bit tough.
Congratulations, Felix. You got the auction gun, my friend. We'll go ahead and build you that invoice before I take off after the show here. Al Doble, the Hydra will be compatible with all of our kits, the PTR, all of our magwells. The ultimate end goal is to also make towers, different towers that can be used for different markers. TMC, we talked about the Tipex, T15, Milsig, all of that stuff. So that's the end goal of the Hydra. Right now, we're just trying to figure out and foolproof the feeding of first strikes. Round ball, it's great, but first strikes were having an issue. Was having an issue. I'm sorry. So once we get that, and we'll do that video when KT says it's all good.
So the Hydra, we do have different tower. So basically, replacement tower, you just kind of pull the clamp out. You just replacement tower. We have drawn up ready for the diadem. We have the Tiberius T15. We also have the music, and we have the round collar version for all those old markers as well. But on the initial release, we'll release two versions. One is the DMAG. That will go all the DMAG that's out there. So all the kits, you're talking about Bolt, Vortex, Hurricane, and then you get your all the 468 and PTR. And then the one that we're gonna release at the same time, is like I mentioned before, is gonna be a Tipex pistol. That will allow you guys to anybody using a Tipex pistol or the TMC, not TMC, the TCR.
TCR, yeah.
TCR, will have able to use that as well. So we released those two first, and then we figured out which marker going to have a little more popularity. And then we're going to invest into making different towers, because a tower costs too much money. We don't want to make towers and people don't want them. Then one up is just products sitting on a shelf that just cost money. That we could invest into something else that making another product for you guys.
Glenn Taylor, the springs, yes, they are the Spider Spring set essentially for the DMR and the PTR. But
that's a low end.
Yeah.
That's a low set that you want to shoot. If you want to shoot it between 200 and 250, that's a set that you want to use. And if you want to shoot 250 to 300, use the mid length. We do also have a gold spring, really strong gold spring. That's going to go 300 plus. If you want to shoot 300 plus, that's the spring to use. Normally, you don't get that spring. If you request for, we can get you one, but we don't really. There's really no point of sending you the high version spring. There's really no point. You can't shoot 300 anywhere anyway, so why have a 300 feet per second spring? But don't recommend using it. The spring set that we sent to you with the PTR in the 468, that will give you the range to shoot at low and high. In the past, it's kind of hard, like I said, kind of hard to shoot our system at low velocity, but now with the new valve, you can shoot high and low. That allow you to kind of control you can fine tune the velocity much better now. And that's I know you guys been waiting for that. Now we have to solve that for you.
Red Devils Inc. is actually in here. Thank you for coming by the show today. We are very, very honored to help what you guys do, and thank you for everything that you guys do for the patients of that are unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer. We thank you for that. So thank you for joining us today. Let's see here. Anything else? Any other questions that you have? Valve spring. You don't need to touch the valve spring.
You don't need to touch the valve spring at all.
Yeah, don't.
If you want to play around with it, I restart recently. I don't include them in the kit anymore because people start asking what is it for. We kind of include it because we have it, but just recently I start pulling them off. So you get right now, if you ordering a 468 or the PTR, you're getting 6 springs, so 3 low and then 3 mid range springs. The one that comes with the gun already, it has a silver spring in there. This one right here, let me show you really quick. You get this one right here. This is right above the green spring and below the blue spring, so it's kind of in between. It should shoot, depends on the, like, depends on the system. It shoot around 200 something, around 250 or somewhere right around there. So we chrono them. We just kind of, when we ship these out, we chrono them. Just make sure that shoot at a nominal speed, not specific, because we don't know what what barrel you're going to use and what air you're going to use projectile too. Those 3 things we found that it can, each one of those kind of change 5 to 10 feet per second. You add them together to like 34 feet per second. So that's why we give you the different range. In the past, when we shoot here perfectly 280 and we get to you guys, some people have it low, some people have it high. So that's why we kind of, all right, you know what, give them the range that they need to accomplish them all, high and low.
All right. So last question: tornado updates.
Tornado updates. The mold still being made. We should start next month. We should start going to release a series of video that I did. We did a documentary videos like every few months. I actually did a video where the progress is, and like maybe a month or 2 before we release the tornado, kind of each day or each couple of days we release a video, so you kind of do a follow up on where it's at. It's kind of cool. Each video is like about 3 to 5 minutes, kind of give you the process and on where we at. It's right now the current stage is we're making the mold, the cast mold for it. You know how the like these right here, the cast body for it, it's been, the mold currently being made. So what they did is, I don't know if you have know how a cast being produced, but they take actually literally a block of steel, really high tension steel, and they start using a machine to cut down this into shape. So kind of cut it down into all the geometry, all the shape, all the different cavity that it has. And once that's done, they actually have to do 2, right? So and then they put into the machine and they eject either aluminum or alloy, or depends what material you want. So that's been done right now. That process takes around 2 to 3 months, so it depends on the complexity of design, the size of the body. So the tornado, it's actually has pretty intricate geometry in the design. It's going to take about 2 to 3 months. Once that's done, we can do some sample casting that we can show you guys how a little more details. I know you guys haven't seen it. We've been talking about it. Like I said, we're refrained not to show you guys and how until we're almost done, because we always have that problem. We show you stuff and then it's not close to there, and then we'll get ourselves into trouble. So we can talk about it, but rather than showing it to you, like I said, about a month before we release it, we can start showing you how it looks and how it functions and all the good stuff behind it.
All right, guys. For those of you that need stuff for Kilo 69, tell me right now, because I gotta go. I gotta handle some stuff before I get on my, and I still need to pack. All right. Unfortunately.
I know, Dusty and Timothy, I owe you guys your PTR. I haven't got a chance to run the engraver, so that's why your PTR is still here. I'm gonna try, because this week our shipping manager, he went home for a wedding, so we kind of have to fill in the gap for him. So, I'm sorry about that. It's I help with shipping too, because he's gone, and I'm doing other things, so we look behind this week, but next week we should be back to normal because he's back. So I'm gonna try and engrave your magwell tomorrow or Friday, and then have yours out as soon as possible. The markers to build is just right there. I just need to engrave your request onto the magwell. Once I have that done, off it goes. All right.
So make sure, like I said, guys, if you need something for Kilo 69, it has to be small. Okay, it has to be small. I'm not bringing a lot of stuff, but I'm not checking a bag. So if you need something, message me right now, right this second, before I get off, so I can get it. And like I said, I got to get out of here. But if let's see here, Frank Seaton, you said if I purchase a PTR online this Friday, how soon would I be able to pick it up? If you're going to come here in the shop, you could probably pick it up on what, Monday, Tuesday?
We have build one in the shop, so you go into a wall and pick the ones you want. You can buy it off of it or at the wall. And if you don't want certain parts, you can take it off. So the nice thing about, we're gonna do a video in the lobby that you can come into our shop lobby and just pick from the myriads of options you have. That's what you want. Go have lunch, come back, and it's ready for you. If we don't have something, we special order for you. But any part we have on the wall, say I want this, I want that barrel, I want a buttstock, I want that scope, I want a sight, I want that bipod, I want 10 of those, and just pick what you want, and we'll ring you up. So that's what we're working on in the lobby as well. So if you guys want to build something, come to the lobby. We can build for you right there and then. And if you want to build yourself, we'll get you a bench, and we'll show you how to build, and you can build yourself. That's what we've been working on in the lobby too. Kind of let you guys build your own markers. So it's kind of cool.
All in preparation of our home field that's
Right.
going to be in Hollister. So
Right.
I'm going to give you guys more details. Working with Jin and guys over at MagFed Legion for that. So stay up to date. Those of you that are local, finally going to have a place for you to play on a somewhat consistent basis. So it's going to be cool. Other than that, you got anything else?
That's it. Well, thank you very much, you guys, for watching another episode of the MFW show. Appreciate your time, and hope to see you out there.
Take it easy, guys.